Record to cloud. Alrighty, so good morning again. We will get started on our backs, thinking sort of a heart-centered practice. So if you'd like to choose a heart opener, options are many. Just your arms sort of out alongside of you with palms face up. Your legs pretty much in any position, extended long, or the feet grounded, knees together, more of a steeple knee with the feet out a little bit, or soles of the feet together, knees apart. The heart bench version of heart opening, I'll just kind of sneak back here and show you. You're probably familiar and you may have decided you're a fan or you're not, and that's perfectly okay. If you have blocks, setting the one block at the tallest or the middle, and then the one that would go along your spine, the top one is under your head, either in the midway point, but I find that a little bit, I don't want to say severe, but a little bit much of an opener, unless maybe I would cover it with a blanket. So maybe the lowest setting there and the mid or higher for the head. And laying back, again, you kind of have to adjust with your hands to find a comfortable position and balanced position under your head with that block, arms out to the side. And actually, if you spend a little bit of time exploring that, there is sometimes a real sweet spot, a real happy spot, but again, not a have to, and that was just offering your basic heart bench pose. So let you settle in, and then just feel the supports beneath you, whether it's just your mat, whether it's the mat and the blocks, or even a blanket down the length of your spine. Another way to get just a bit more opening across the front body, but paying attention or noticing the back body right now and where you feel connected, where you feel grounded. So perhaps just awareness to the back of the head, what you're resting into, and then all the way, just kind of travel slowly down through the neck and shoulders, down through the spine, under your hips. And then again, depending on how your legs are positioned, maybe all the way down the legs to your heels, or perhaps that grounding into both feet if your legs are in another position. And just breathe. Maybe with each exhale, we let go a little bit more into that support beneath us, feeling a little more connected, a little more grounded. And then perhaps drawing a little attention to the front body. So noticing the difference between the connection that we feel underneath or beneath us and the opening or the space perhaps around us and above us. So now as we breathe in through the nose and let the belly expand, maybe the heart opens up a bit as well. And as you exhale, everything kind of softens, but we feel again that connection, that grounding through the back body. So today, see if, I don't usually ask you to set an intention, but it's always available in there if you want to do in your own practice. But today, maybe our intention can be to practice from that inner flow connection where the body and the mind merge, what some would describe as a heart-centered practice, where embodiment replaces posture, a sense of space replaces alignment, integrity replaces stability, A sense of expansion or opening replaces stretch. And inner ease replaces effort. So I talk a lot about that balance between effort and ease. So again, that could sort of be our intention as we move through our practice today. So not only are we grounded and connected, but we're also open and accepting to what's out there, all right, what's up and around us, and freeing us as we breathe and as we move. So see if your breath can expand into more of a 3-part breath, and maybe place one hand on your belly, one hand up by your heart space. Breathing in, letting your belly fill up, letting those ribs expand, and take that breath all the way to that upper chest space underneath that top hand, and release from top down. So inhaling, we open, we receive. Exhale, we ground and let go. Take another breath, however feels comfortable and smooth. And then let's work our way into a full body stretch. So if you had props beneath you, maybe you can just sort of push them off to the side. And we'll extend our legs long. We'll extend our arms long overhead. And breathe into that front body. Good. All right, from here, let's start to work our way into that little crescent moon or C curve or banana asana, whatever you want to think of it as. So we'll go towards the left first with our feet guiding over in that direction, and then our arms, which are already stretched overhead, heading towards the left. And just breathe into that right side. If you want to go a little deeper, you can always cross your right ankle over your left. You can take a hold gently of your right hand or wrist with your left hand and guide your arm over a bit more, but we're just opening up, so be gentle, be easy. And take another breath here. We'll unwind, let go if you did those extra little add-ons, and then head over to the right side, top and bottom of the mat. And same options here, just stretching in that direction to open up the left side or go a little deeper. And as you're breathing here, know that I do offer options. We pretty much all do in our classes. And that's not to introduce an idea of competitiveness or that more is better or anything like that. So keep in mind as you practice that balance between effort and ease, and do what's right for you. We'll come back to center. And let's bring our knees up into the chest, wrapping our arms around shins or maybe back around the thighs, and just hug in, giving yourselves a little love. Good. Let's take our left leg all the way down to the floor. Squeeze that right knee in just a bit more. And then on your next inhale, start to extend your right leg and draw your left knee up and in towards the chest. Exhale, completes that transition or that switch. So now your left knee is in close. We'll sort of squeeze in a little bit more. Right leg is extended. And then we'll start using movement with breath, alternating between these two. And you can bring your extended leg the whole way down or hover just a little bit above the ground when it's extended. So inhale, draw your right knee up. Exhale, completes the switch. And go ahead and just move through a few rounds back and forth, extending one leg and drawing the other knee in. Nice full inhales will give us lots of fresh air to start working into our muscles and joints. And then finish up with your, let's say, your left knee in towards your chest and your right leg long. Let the right leg drop to the floor if it was extended. And then we'll open out the left knee. So take your left hand and guide your knee out to the side, hip out to the side. Your toes may come down to the ground or may be suspended. And breathe into our little hip opener. Let's bring our left knee in through center. Use our right hand now to draw the left knee over to the right, coming into a spinal twist. Allow your left arm to reach out, palm facing up. And this is a nice heart opener here as we let our left shoulder blade sort of melt down to the support beneath you. Another full inhale and exhale. Come on back to center. Let your right knee come up and meet the left, and hug both knees in once more. You can rock side to side a little bit before we transition, and let your left leg extend all the way down. Now we'll bring our right knee out to the side using our right hand to guide it. Notice if this hip has a little more available range to it and the foot drops down lower or maybe less. And again, no judgment, just noticing and noticing what you have to do to find a comfortable place to get this little opening here. When you're ready, let your right knee come through center. Use your left hand to guide your knee over to the left. Right arm can extend out to the side, palm face up, to enjoy a nice heart opener on this side. Feeling space across the collarbones as we breathe. Alrighty, coming on back to center. Again, both knees could come up. We're going to work our way up to seated, so either crossing your ankles and rocking forward and back or pressing up from one side. So good morning again. All right, I'm going to get my blanket and use that to get a little lift to the sitting bones, and then kind of work around a little bit, maybe find those sitting bones this morning and find a comfortable seat, whether that be cross-legged or extended legs or one leg out. All right. So let's bring our hands to the tops of our knees and inhale our shoulders up towards our ears and let go of them. Release them back and down on our exhale. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. Let's do one more. And release. All right, bring your fingertips out alongside of you on the mat. And we'll inhale, raise arms up. Maybe palms meet, maybe not. And exhale, nice slow return to the ground. Inhale, lift. This time we will allow our palms to come together and then bring our hands down to our heart center. Breathe in, reminding ourselves of that intention. And just even balancing effort and ease. Good. Let's inhale and bring our elbows up. We'll interlace our fingers. Exhale, press your palms away. Get a little rounding through the spine. Inhale, lifting up to the sky. Exhale, release your hands coming behind you, maybe to bind or at least just pull or back in that direction. Shine your heart forward. And exhale back to heart center. Repeating that flow. Inhale, elbows come up to shoulder height. Interlace fingers. Exhale, round, push your palms away. Inhale, we lift to the sky. Exhale, release and come behind. Inhale, heart shines forward. Exhale, heart center. Inhale, let's lift our palms up, spread our fingers apart. Take another breath here, lifting. As we exhale, let's rotate to the right, belly, ribs, upper chest. Let your arms float down into your twist. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, stay here or twist a little more, looking over your right shoulder. Good, and inhale your right arm up, that arm from behind, and take a hinge to your left. Your left hand can stay grounded on your knee. And then again, feeling that side body stretch through the right. Inhale, let's bring both arms straight up to the sky, big lift. Exhale, twist towards your left and the arms float down with your right hand on your left knee. Inhale, we lengthen, sit a little taller through our crown. Exhale, again, staying kind of where you are or twist a little deeper. We'll inhale our left arm up and take a hinge to the right. Breathe through that left side of the body. Inhale, both arms reach. One more stretch or reach back behind us. Heart shines forward. And back to our heart center. All right, time for tabletop. So we'll come onto hands and knees. And you can always layer up a little bit under your knees if you like, a little extra padding, a blanket or beach towel or something. All right, so we'll get settled up. Our shoulders over wrists, fingers spread nice and wide, and our hips over our knees. All right, let's take our left leg and just kind of slide it back along the mat as far as you can extend back so your knee is straight, and then press back through your left heel. Getting a little heel cord stretch here. Shift forward and we'll bring our left leg to hip height, pointing your toes straight down. Get strong and pressing up through your arms. Let your right arm float forward into spinal balance. With your thumb pointing up towards the sky, pinky finger down. Breathing here, extending out long on our inhale. Exhale, let your hand come down. Actually, let your foot come down, but we're going to rotate it. We're going to work our way into, a side kneeling plank. So from here, it might be easier if you kickstand your right foot out to the side a bit. Bring your right hand a little more centered. Your left foot can then be flat on the mat and lift your left arm up to the sky. Stay right here, or you can bring your arm overhead towards the front end of your mat. And once again, we kind of get that nice side stretch that we had in our Vinyasa, right? So here, or maybe lifting up your left foot for a little bit of a side kneeling balance. Again, lots of options. If you're not liking the way that arm feels up, again, put it down, bring your hand to your hip. All right, and then let your foot come down if it was lifted. We'll return back to our tabletop. And from here, just walk your hands forward into heart melting pose or puppy pose. So we bring our forehead down towards the mat, or if it feels better, if you have something underneath, you could place your block or blanket or something beneath your forehead. We get a nice shoulder stretch here. All right, let's walk our way back to table. I'm going to switch myself around, but you'll stay put. All right, setting up in table. Let's take our right foot and drag it straight back along the mat until your knee is extended, and then we push away through the right heel. And just get that nice heel cord stretch. Draw your belly up and in as you're breathing. And then we can come forward enough to lift up the right leg to hip height, toes pointing down, and float your left arm forward. Same idea with the left thumb pointing towards the sky. Extending out through opposite extremities so your arm reaches forward as your right heel presses back. Take your left hand down and let your foot drop down as well. Start setting up for that kneeling side plank. So kickstand left foot out, left hand a little more centered, and start to spin towards your right side, lifting up your right arm. And then any of those options or anything else that you can think of that you would like to do. Arm could be overhead, side stretch, foot lifted, changing your arm position if you're just not comfortable with this kind of shoulder stretch. Another breath wherever you happen to be. And then coming out, the foot was lifted, it comes down. We'll spiral back to our table, excuse me, and then walk our way out to puppy once again, or heart melting. If this is pinchy at all in your shoulders, either come up a little bit, or you could walk your hands out farther away from each other. And sometimes just that extra available space helps. Puppy, settle. All right, walk your way back in. And we're back in tabletop. From here, we're going to drop down to our forearms. So let your elbows come down. Oh, lucky. And we're going to work our way into a forearm plank. So let your left foot come back, or you could start with the right. And then the opposite foot, just so that our knees are up. We're in a nice long straight line. Forearms are down. We're breathing. And you know, at any point when you say, okay, enough of this nonsense, you can lower. But I'm going to stay around for maybe 2 more breaths. Again, no competition, no judgment. And then let's all, if you haven't already, dip our hips down and untuck our toes. So we pretty much line up into Sphinx pose. Take a peek at your arms to see that your elbows are under your shoulders. Relax your shoulders down away from the ears so that we're not kind of slouching down into the pose of pressing up, using a little energy up through our arms. Draw your belly button in towards your spine and breathe. All right, let's make a little hand pillow. So start to walk your hands in towards each other, stack one on top. The elbows will come out to the side and lower your forehead right down on your hand pillow. From here, we're going to come into locust. So bring your arms down alongside of you with palms face down. All right, we center our chin. Let our shoulder blades come towards each other. Reach our fingertips straight back as if we wanted to reach down towards our feet. Lift up just the upper body, so the shoulders, the heart is lifting. Maybe add in the feet, but again, not a have to, just an option. So that would just be lifting up our toes or our legs as well, coming into a bigger back bend. Breathing, because this is challenging. We're kind of balancing on our bellies. And lower down. Make that hand pillow again, or just turn your head to one side or the other if that feels better. We'll bend our legs and just do a little windshield wiper here. Because whether you did the foot lift or not, it's still a back bend, and we want to just give our backs a little reset before we move on. All right, let your feet come on back down. We're going to move our hands to a position alongside the rib cage. Excuse me, centering the head again. We'll come up to our first baby cobra. So kind of the same back motion. We're drawing our shoulder blades together. Heart lifts and breathe. Exhale to your mat. Next time we come on up with an inhale, you'll come through baby cobra, use our hands to press up into a fuller cobra, onto our knees, and then extend all the way back to extended child's. Take a few breaths here. And you can keep your arms extended in the front, or if you want a little different motion in between, you could bring your palms together and place your thumb back by your back of your neck, or reach your hands down towards your heels. Just take another little break here before we start to flow. All right, let's inhale to kneeling plank. Move myself up here. Exhale, lower all the way down with control. So keeping those elbows in close to your rib cage. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, back to extended child's. Inhale to kneeling plank. Exhale, lower down, lead with your heart. Inhale, cobra. This time as you press up onto your knees, we'll tuck our toes and lift up to downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, start to pedal out your feet, pressing one heel back and then the other as you bend the opposite knee. Widen out your stance, shorten or lengthen your stance. You've all been practicing long enough that you probably know what you need more than I know what you need in terms of helping to open up into your downward dog. Let your head relax. All right, we'll do just one more little flow before we come forward to stand. So just let your knees drop down, untuck your toes, and come back to extended child's. Full breath here, and release that breath out. Inhale, start to come up, tuck those toes, downward facing dog. Full breath. Look towards your hands and start walking forward. Come to your forward fold and then right up to a halfway lift. Let's pause in our half lift. Crown of our head forward, tailbone straight back. If our hands are against our legs, against our shins, again, think about where your shoulders are in relation to your ears and see if you can create a little bit more space there. Draw your belly button up towards your spine. So we're nice and strong here. Good. Exhale, fold. Let your knees bend. Let's come forward through chair. So let your hips drop back a little farther. Let your hands, palms face each other, come up. And using the strength through your feet and legs, press down, reach for the sky. Tall mountain. Exhale to mountain. All right. Once you're up, move around a little bit, grab a drink if you want, and then we'll get ready to move on. I'll grab a sip of tea for my scratchy goat. All right. Let's come to our mountain pose. And from here, let's rise up to tall mountain. Swan dive down, leading with your heart, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bending knees, we reverse swan. Again, nice flat spine as we rise up. Tall mountain. Exhale, mountain. Sweep your arms up, tall mountain. Exhale, let's come into chair. So bend those knees, arms forward. Flow like that one more time, then I'm going to change things up a bit. All right, bring your hands to heart center, and then just stand in mountain at heart center. All right, I'm going to do a little flow between this and chair with a little different arms. I'm going to call it, it's kind of a skier flow, kind of in between seasons of winter skiing and water skiing, but whatever. So we go from here to here. All right, so we're in the typical leg position of our chair, right? But we have our arms back. We're using those back muscles, drawing our arms backward. And then inhale to mountain at heart center. Exhale to chair, reaching back. You can stay with this flow, moving with your breath. Or actually you could, we're always going to go to this arm. You could come to tall mountains. We're sweeping your arms up, big stretch, and then back into our sort of skier's lunge chair pose. Just a few more rounds. We're working on that backward reach, those back muscles that we want to find some balance in because they're the ones that are weaker. One more. All right, if you're back here, let's come to heart center. We'll stand in mountain and breathe. All right, let's take our arms up to tall mountain and drop your right arm down. We'll extend through left fingertips and take a hinge to the right. Big breath here. Come on back up. Both arms lift and then open out to your left in a twist. Right arm is forward, left is back. Bring both palms face up, roll them down, and rotate them back upward again. Inhale up through center and drop your left arm down. Get nice and long through your right fingertips and take a hinge to the left. Breathing here. Inhale back through center, both arms rise up. And then we're twisting to the right with our left arm forward, right arm back. Bring both palms facing upward. Rotate back down and then up again. Inhale, let's come forward to tall mountain. Swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan, rise up, tall mountain. Exhale, mountain. All right, let's bring our hands to heart center. We're going to shift our weight into our right foot, get a little more rooted, a little more grounded there. And then again, that sort of opposite energy, we're lengthening up through the spine, up through the crown of the head. We'll take our weight onto the right foot and step up with our left knee rising a bit, and then come on back to warrior one. Your foot's going to fall at about 45-degree angle, maybe opening up a bit if you need to with your stance. guiding our hips forward. Let's lift our arms, excuse me, to warrior one. Lift, lowering the shoulders. All right, let's come to our cactus arms. And again, we're thinking about when we do this flow, that pulling back. So we start here, and then we're going to inhale, lengthen, reach your arms up, straighten your right knee. Exhale, use those back muscles to pull back. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. Keep flowing. We'll do one more. Pause here. Take your arms behind, either bind or reach in that direction, setting up for humble warrior. Inhale, lift, so maybe a slight back bend. Exhale, come forward and down, hovering over your right thigh, or maybe coming a little bit to the inside of your right leg. Using the strength maybe of your back and pulling with those arms, slowly rise up. We'll lift up to warrior one. Once again, come to heart center. Pivot a little bit on our back foot. Okay, we're kind of in a slight lunge here. And then just use a nice little spring off of that back foot to step forward and come back to our starting point, back to some balance here. Yeah, move around if you want. And then a little more tension into our left foot, rooting down, grounding, shifting your weight so that you can lift your right knee up and take a step back into warrior one, adjusting, taking a peek, and then using our arms to lift and allowing the shoulder blades to melt down a bit before we come into a cactus shape. From here we flow. Inhale, we lift, straighten your left knee. Exhale, draw those shoulder blades together, arms come back. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. We pause in this sort of flexed position here, using those back muscles, and then reach behind to bind or just lengthen in that backward reach. Inhale, slight back bend. Exhale, come forward for our humble warrior. Big breaths here. And then you can release and lift your arms back up to warrior one. Come to heart center. Pivot a little bit on your right foot and take a step forward. Good. All right, once again, we move a little bit and then we find our stability. Okay, so we're going to step out to, no, we'll float to it. We're going to start here though. We're going to start in mountain. We're going to reach up to tall mountain. Lead with our heart. Swan dive down, forward fold. Plant your hands. Okay, you could use blocks. We won't be here long. We're going to step our left foot back to a lunge shape and then rotate our foot so that the foot comes down parallel to the short end of our mat and rise up, coming into our warrior two. Okay, so hopefully that transition went semi-smoothly. And once you're here, then you can take a little peek and see if, how things are lined up. All right, we have our arms outstretched. Let's take a flow here. So you might want to put your palms face up, and we'll inhale, straighten your right knee, lift your arms up. Exhale, come back to open arms, bent front knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rising up, big breath. Exhale, back to warrior two. we'll turn our left palm face down and just let that arm rest on the left leg as we reach our right arm up to the sky for Radiant Warrior. Breathing here. All right, come on back to Warrior Two. And then just bring your hands to heart center. We're going to pivot towards the front foot. So you're just going to rotate on your left foot. We're open a little bit more than we were in Warrior One. So some choices here. You can reach up. You can come back down to the floor or blocks. Okay, so try to come back into a lunge, however that works. And from here, we're going to take a twist to the right. So keep your left hand grounded on your block or the mat and lift up with your right arm, right arm shifting and rotating to the right. Arm can come behind you if your shoulder is bothering you with that extension. And then come on back out of that. And from here, we'll take a step forward. So once again, it's kind of a little spring step off of your back foot, right foot, left foot meets right. Come back, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan, rise up. Tall mountain. Exhale, mountain. All right, so again, a little movement as we shift to the other side. We'll be opening out to our right side this time. So blocks or no blocks as we lift up to tall mountain, swan dive down to forward fold, plant your hands and take your right leg back. Then we'll rotate our right foot so that it's parallel to the short end of your mat and use our strength to come on up to Warrior Two on this side. All right, let's bring our palms face up to the sky and flow. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, that left knee bends back into that position, knee over ankle. Flow with your breath. We pause here, take our right hand down along the right leg and lift up through our left arm, high to the sky, Radiant Warrior, and breathe. All right, come back to Warrior Two. We'll turn towards the front. Oops, I'm a little off balance here, listening to my dog. And come down to a lunge with or without blocks. A little bit easier to stay higher. We'll plant our right hand, rotate to the left. Left arm lifts. Again, same option to bring your arm down if you need to. Come on back towards the front. The arm comes down and we use our strength to take our right foot up to left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan, rise up. Tall mountain. Exhale, mountain. Okay. Somebody had the nerve to walk by my front door, or front window. And he's not even in this room. I don't know how he knew. All right. We'll come to heart center. And we'll do a little dynamic tree today because I'm seeing my tree out my front window, which is starting to get pretty. It's a little Japanese maple and little red leaves are coming out, but it's blowing a lot today. So we're going to be a dynamic tree. Not meaning we're going to blow over, but we might blow a little bit. All right, so we're starting with our right ankle or our right heel against the left ankle bone. That little kickstand move we have. And then bring your foot out. So your toes are kind of pointed to the side, our hip is open, and then connect. So we inhale and exhale. Think of this almost like a little ballet move. Out and in. Next time you come out, let's bring our arms out like star pose. And then come in and back to heart center. Inhale, lift out and reach, and then heart center. This time from here, maybe we bring our foot up to our inner calf, more like our tree pose. And already I'm windy. So we inhale, come out to a wide branch tree, and then in heart center with our foot against something. So we're lifted a little bit. And if you have to go to the floor, that's okay. Out and in, out and in. And then a little brain work. Bring your arms up, keep the leg in tree. And now we're going to go opposites. So the foot will come out, the hands will come to heart center. And then, ooh, that's a little tricky. Back to arm reach, leg up, and then out to the side. So maybe you can do one or two more of these. Let's come to heart center and let the leg go. All right, a little different. I like to change things up every now and then, right? So move around. And now you know what we're in for. We'll do the other side and it will be so easy comparatively. And I'm always telling you, no, don't compare, right? So maybe this is our more challenging side. Maybe it's not, but we do it and we explore and see what happens. So let's start with right foot grounded, left heel against our right ankle bone, hands at heart center. Inhale and just slide our foot out a bit to the side, and then exhale to reconnect. So we start with just that little bit of a dynamic change, a little bit of a difference here in our leg position and what our body's having to do to accommodate to that. And then we add in some arms. I'm going to move my block. And back to center. Heart center with leg in, toes are still grounded. Maybe our next time coming in, heart center, but maybe we can start the lift of the foot out to star and back to connect at our heart and our leg. Do as many of these as you like. And maybe this time when we're here, let's switch our arms up and then step out, hands come to heart center. Leg comes in, arms reach up. Hopefully we're not forgetting to breathe because we're really concentrating, right? And that's what happens. But let go of the effort, try to find ease in this little flow. We'll take one more. Come into heart center and then letting go of the right leg down. Ooh, so we got some good weight bearing, we got some good weight shifting, some good balance work. All right, let's come on down to our mats. We can come any which way. I think I'm just going to come down through Vinyasa, through a little bit of a little squat, let's say, but we're going to go to our backs. So you want to just have a seat and then come down to your backs any which way. It's always very ungraceful looking, I think, to get out of that pose. But again, whatever. No judgment, no worries. All right, so let's come on down. Excuse me. And once we're here, if you went through Malasana, you already had a little bit of an opener of the hips, but we'll all join in on a recline bound angle. So soles of the feet together, knees out, hand on your belly, and then one on your heart. Reconnect with your breath. As you take a nice full smooth breath, see if you can draw it up to that heart space. And then letting go from top to bottom. We'll take our hands down to the sides of our legs and just guide our legs back towards each other and plant our feet hip distance apart. Let's walk our feet in a little closer to the glutes. So setting up for bridge pose, we'll bring our arms down alongside, and actually let's bend our elbows with fingers pointed to the sky. Again, gets in a little bit more to the mid and upper back and a little more of a heart opener. So using strength through your feet, pressing through your upper arms, we'll lift the hips up to the sky and breathe. Keep pressing up through your hips, trying to not let your knees open out, so using a little bit of the opposite muscles, trying to draw your inner thighs not towards each other, but towards each other energetically. A little isometric here. And then lower hips down, heel toe your feet out a little bit farther to the edges of your mat and let your knees steeple together. Bring your arms overhead, but in a relaxed manner. So meaning your palms can be face up, but let your elbows have a little softness, a bend in them. We'll drop the right knee in towards the left and then take your right arm and stretch up long. So you're reaching up, straightening your elbow, getting a whole side body stretch. Let that right elbow relax. Let your legs come back through center and drop your left knee down in towards the right leg. And opposite here, we get a nice stretch up through the left arm, reaching back and overhead. And relax your arm, come back to center. We'll heel toe back to hip distance apart. And bring our arms down alongside of us. This time you could do the same arm position, or if you have a bind in your practice, in other words, once your hips are lifted, kind of walk your shoulders in a little bit closer and reach underneath and bind your hands. So either of those options, just to, again, more of a heart opener. We'll lift up into our bridge. Your elbows bent, pressing through upper arms, or maybe trying to bind. Taking a few breaths here. Inhale to lift. Exhale, let go of the bind if you had it, and we'll all lower hips down. And come back briefly for a little reset to recline bound angle. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. Excuse me. Bring those knees towards each other and arms out like a T. Let's bring both knees over towards the left side. So a twist with our Right leg stacked on top of the left. We're bent at the hips and the knees. Open across the front body, perhaps gazing towards your right arm. Full fluid breaths here. And then we'll come through center. You can either walk your feet through, or if it feels okay on your back, you can lift your legs up. So feet come up, and then we just kind of arc over to the other side. But do what again feels okay for your body. To come into a twist on the other side. Perhaps gazing towards your left arm. Breathing into that space all across the heart. And again, noticing how your body feels in that twist. We'll work our way back to center. And then one more bridge, but it'll be restorative in nature. So a block or blanket or something perhaps beneath your sacrum. So finding a support that you like to use, we'll lift up, place that at the sacral level. And let's bring our feet up into waterfall. So arms can be, again, open at your side, either straight across from your shoulders or a little closer to your body, but palms face up for a little bit more opening across the heart. Take a few more breaths here, or if you'd like, you could drop your feet down to the floor and walk your legs away so you get a little more stretch across the hip flexors. And if you want to reach your arms up long overhead again, you can. Again, just finishing out with a few relaxing, grounding poses, but yet opening across our heart and front body as well. Finding that balance. And then when you're ready, coming out of whichever pose you just finished, and if there's anything else you want to add, including layers of clothing or any other movements before we settle into our final pose of the day, or Shavasana. Again, restoring, relaxing, letting go. So make yourself comfortable and think about just relaxing and letting go. a nice full, smooth breath in through the nose and let it go. Start to reawaken your physical body with small movements. Squeezing into fists and opening like big stars with your fingers. Do the same thing with your toes. Open and close. Circle out wrists and ankles. Open your arms out into a stretch or squeeze in, curling up into a ball, whatever feels good. And then you can make your way to one side, rolling one to the side and pause for a breath or so. Reflect on your intention, on your practice, on finding balance between effort and ease. And then we'll meet up. It's seated, bringing our hands to heart center. And thinking about our tree, our dynamic tree today, in the words of Amelia Earhart, she said, "A single act of kindness throws out roots in all directions, and the roots spring up and make new trees." So we did a lot of throwing out and coming back together in our heart. So hopefully we sprouted not only new trees, but just that idea of kindness and in our hearts and spreading that throughout the world. All right, let's take a big breath and reach up to the sky and draw our hands back to our hearts, where that light and love resides within all of us. The light in me truly sees and honors the light in each of you. Let's bow to that divine light and love and seal our practice. Namaste. Thank you, ladies. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, Jackie. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Hope to see you all again soon. I'm gonna stop my